Virgo, hey, good to see ya. Thanks for dropping in with me. We are here to do our weekly dive into the Virgo collective energy, just to see what's coming towards you and how you can move forward on your path in the most empowering way. We got a little special focus this week, though, because we have a Libra full moon coming up on the 25th, and it's going to be a lunar eclipse, which is bringing some things back around from the last lunar eclipse we had that closed out 2023, which was on October 28th. So there could be something from last fall that's coming around the bend again to sort of be addressed or balanced out. Be on the lookout for that. And then there's some kind of new beginning that will spring from whatever gets addressed, whatever gets balanced out karmically, that we also can't see yet because we have a new moon in Aries coming up on April 8th, and that's going to be a total solar eclipse, all right? So this is kicking off eclipse season, and it's all going down in the nodes of destiny. So if it feels like there's a lot hanging in the balance, there is. I did pick up an initial energy with you that you feel like you've just been waiting for the change to happen in your life for a long time. Like you feel this sense of, can we get there already? Like, when is it going to shift? Okay. There's a lot shifting. And what's strange about the Virgo energy is it does feel like there's a lot that's already shifted, but at the same time, it feels like being held in place. So it's like movement within a place of stuckness. All right. Let's see what's going on here, Virgo. Okay. What's coming in for Virgo spirit? What does Virgo need to know at this time? What's coming in for Virgo? What's being balanced out for Virgo, and what is on the other side? There's that stuckness. But I mean, something is not going to be stuck for long. We have Knight of Wands energy. This is a moving forward, okay? Something will start moving forward very quickly. It's sort of like right now you're at that place of a little bit of pause before everything takes off. But once it takes off, it all starts clicking and lining up very quickly. There could be a fire sign energy in the mix in relation to this, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, okay? I do feel like that new moon in Aries on April 8th will be very significant for you. At that time, you're going to get some kind of green light, all right? What do we got here? Look at this. Yes, there is something that you will finally have the opportunity to move away from. This could be because you have some kind of financial come up, right? I feel like right now you're currently closing out a cycle with the world here. Could be preparing for a move, could be dealing with some kind of family matter that you are wrapping up. This could also be balancing something out in a relationship that you are ready to leave behind. We see that with the 8 of Cups here. Something is changing in a home situation. Something is changing in a family dynamic. Something could be changing in a marriage. You could be dealing with a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, or an Aquarius. But through closing this cycle, you're going to see a new way forward. The way opens forward for you, and it brings you a lot of success, all right? You are dealing with somebody in this situation who's being very steely, okay? And they may be coming at it from an angle that is quite unemotional. This might be a little bit disarming. I also feel like you're being asked at this point to move more into this space so that you can really handle the executive decisions that are ahead. Okay, there's some, now for some of you, this has something to do with being an executor of a will. And this is why you need to stay in this place of looking at things very cleanly and have a lot of clarity in this situation. 4:44 on the clock, right? But something is happening here that is moving you away from a troubled time, okay? It's not easy to move away from this. I do feel like you've been held up at the crossroads for quite a while, but I also feel like there is some kind of financial resources that are coming through that's going to make this possible for you. And it looks good. It's the start of a new era is what I heard, right? You could have been dealing with some people that were really inflexible in this regard, or were just making things harder than they needed to be, or putting unnecessary roadblocks in your path. Again, you could have been dealing with any of the fixed signs in relation to this: a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, or an Aquarius. Aquarius coming in really strong, I have to tell you. It could be there's an Aquarius in the mix, or it could be an Aquarius rising, so a Leo, okay, that in some way, shape, or form was holding things up because they actually needed to wrap things up. Like they needed to cut something off so you would actually be free to move forward in a new way in this situation as well, okay? So it could be there's somebody that you're attached to in this situation who is extricating themselves from a relationship, could be extricating themselves from a relationship with a Leo, or with an Aquarius is coming in really strongly, or you could be in process of doing this, and this is what's been holding things up. Whatever's going on here, there is a moving forward, all right? Let's get some more details. What does this moving forward look like? What is this success that's on the other side for Virgo? I do feel like you're going to get some news in the affirmative as of the new moon on April 8th that will inspire you about this new direction. Yeah, whatever this is, put a fork in it. It's done. It is coming to a close. I think it's like a long, drawn out ending. And I think because of that, it's weighed very heavily on you. It's almost like the waiting around for this to shift has also been something that you've really needed to get some recovery from. It's like you need to heal from this process of this long ending as well. And I do feel like you're going to get the opportunity to do that, okay? Could have been dealing with a Scorpio in this situation. But whatever is coming to an end here, we know with death on the scene that this is a timely ending. It's meant to be. And there is some kind of rebirth, renewal of energy on the other side. All right, one more round of this, and then I'm going to pull out some other cards. What is this renewal of energy that is coming in for Virgo? What is this renewal of energy that's coming in for Virgo on the other side, closing out this old karmic cycle? You're not stuck anymore. Okay, we know that, Hangman. And look at this. Look at the illumination, okay? And also, I love it when the Hangman comes out reversed like this, because doesn't it look like he's dancing? Okay, so whatever you're heading toward now, you're going to feel so much more freedom and just lightness of being. I do feel like you're going to finally feel like, okay, now we're moving. Now we're heading in the right direction. Okay, so you're not hung up at the crossroads anymore. This is good. Could be a Pisces in relation to this. There could have been a Pisces that was holding things up. This Pisces is getting out of the way. That allows you to kind of like move on forward, all right? Again, when we're dealing with the house of Pisces, that 12th house, this is an important karmic cycle. This is something that did need to be completed. It was long and drawn out, but there's also a perspective you needed to gain in that time, all right? And I do feel like you're arriving at that place and you're ready to get moving forward now. You're not going to play a martyr in this situation. When we're also dealing with the house of Pisces, we're dealing with hidden enemies, okay? So you may have found out that somebody that you felt really close to was actually working against you, or was putting roadblocks in your path, holding you up, creating a hold up in a situation. Whatever's been going on with that, there's exposure around that. So you're going to know where the problem lied, and you're going to be able to move beyond it. Let's do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Yep, look at this. I'm telling you, things are going to be on the move. Do expect those messages to come in, and you're not going to be halted in your progress anymore. And I think this is just going to feel good to you. I think part of the problem is you've been feeling really stuck. So once this, I got this image of, it's almost like, you know, when somebody has, I mean, I think this is appropriate too, because you might be popping bottles a bit. There might be a little bit of a celebration in play. All right. I got that. Okay. You might even be going on like some kind of like little jaunt, some trip to celebrate. I could see that too. But I had the image of like a bottle of champagne. You know, you shake up the bottle of champagne, you pull out that cork, and what happens is like just this flood of energy that moves everything forward. And that's the vibe it's got. There is a little bit of an effervescence around it. So I do feel like it's just going to feel really good to not have the energy held back anymore. I do feel like you're going to be moving forward. You might be going on some kind of trip. And I feel like if you're going on this trip, it's so you can just have some fun. It's so you can let your hair down. It's so you can relax a little bit. And I think it's just going to feel really good to finally have things moving forward. I also feel like where you've really been wanting some communication, those blocks are removed, and there's going to be this, you know, back and forth, ongoing dialogue going on, messages going back and forth, and there's a sense of, you know, upliftment around it. So it's a positive turn of events for you. Woo, and it looks good. Okay, so this is you really being in a good position. Money looking good. Okay, if you've been worried about your finances, like, the direction you're heading in is going to be so solid. There's steady growth there. It's definitely moving you into a position of financial independence. Okay, and it was 11:11 on the clock when I said that. So yes, you're absolutely coming into alignment. But more than anything, you're coming into alignment within yourself. There's something that you took a risk toward, that you really believed in, and it was an investment you made in yourself, your own vision for your future, and it's going to pay off. Okay, maybe you feel like things have been held back, or the opportunities you've wanted haven't been coming in. Oh, you're going to be flooded with opportunities before you know it. Okay, and things are really going to move forward for you. I also feel like where you've been dealing with health challenges, you're really turning that around. In fact, this might be something you're starting to focus a little bit more on now. Maybe you've recently picked up an exercise routine, or you might be changing up your diet a little bit, just trying to eat a little bit more fresh kind of foods. I'm seeing like juicing, getting in a lot of smoothies and like salads, and just getting more light, fresh fare. I'm like spring rolls, pho coming in. Okay, so maybe you've just been lightening up the diet a little bit, and you're recognizing that when you're really taking care of your body, you also feel better mentally, you feel better emotionally. I think you're going to be looking really good. And also with the finances freed up, I do see you getting like some new clothes. You might be going and doing something with your hair. Okay, just investing in, like, you know, glowing up a little bit. And I think you're going to be looking good, feeling good. And this is great energy coming in here. Okay, so let's get some clarification cards for you. What do I want to bring in for clarification for you? Let's do super awesome future cards. Okay, see what comes in, because it's looking good. Yeah, I mean, I think you've been dealing with some issues at home. You've been dealing with some issues surrounding the house. There might have been some arguments at home. Something just hasn't felt right. Home hasn't felt like home. But something is going to free you from this kind of an atmosphere. Okay, it could be working things out and getting to a better place. This could have something to do with, you know, just opening up the lines of communication and coming to some kind of equitable agreement in a living situation that kind of like lightens things up. Things don't have to feel so strange anymore. All right, a lot of this may ironically have to do with you just having more of that financial independence. Okay, but I also feel there's something shifting here for you as well. All right, and it might be that you just need to like take a break from the person that you're living with for a bit. Maybe you need to go on a trip and just sort of like get a different view and have some fun and let your hair down a bit and just, you know, get away from the monotony. And that'll help too as you're making this transition, because I do feel like you're in a time of major growth and transition. And some of you are preparing to move. You're preparing to make a residential move, all right? And you might not be sure where that is yet, but something's going to come in. Yeah, for some of you, this might be something that you're kind of like keeping on the down low right now. You don't want to stir up any problems. I would say if you're in that kind of a situation where you are thinking of making a move, but for one reason or another, you don't want to announce your moves, I'd be careful about who you share that information with, because somebody could really put it on blast, and that could be very problematic. Okay, that could create some instability, so be careful with that. All right. Yeah, right now you just gotta toe the line. I know you're tired with vigor here, right? It's been a long time coming. You feel like, you know, you're tired of schooling people. You're tired of telling them, you know, why you feel the way you do, why you're, you know, feeling worn out, tired, you need something new. I feel like you feel like you've really been held back, you know, by just old stuff that's been weighing you down. I also think you got a lot of grief going on. You might have noticed some kind of like constriction in your chest. Maybe you're dealing with a little bit of like respiratory stuff, or your lungs feel a little congested from all the pollen, you know. But I also feel like this has a lot to do with just like old stuck grief. There may have been times when you really had to just master your emotions and not allow yourself to really like just purge out all the grief you were feeling, because you had to stay strong. You couldn't be in this place where you got destabilized. For some of you, this is because you had work to do, you know, you had to keep it together while you worked. For others of you, you were busy going through school and you couldn't afford yourself the opportunity to just really let go of what you were holding on to emotionally. I think you've really had to work very hard to just keep yourself centered and keep yourself moving forward toward a goal. And it felt like you were moving against a lot of resistance. I mean, it even looks like you might have had somebody that you considered a friend who was helping to contribute to that resistance that was being put in your way. But you're getting to the other side of this, all right? So you might need to just get out of the city for a bit. Again, like get out in nature, go somewhere, maybe go on a little trip, a little retreat. Just create some breathing room for you. You might also want to work with steam inhalations. You know, you can get a nice big bowl of hot water, like boil up some water, put it in a big bowl, maybe add some fresh rosemary. You could add some lemon verbena. You could add a little lavender. You could do some rose petals in there, and then just tent your head with a towel and do some deep breathing. And that'll help break up the congestion in the lungs. And as you do that, you might also experience some really good emotional release. I also feel like you might be surprised if you're starting to do some kind of cardio. You might be surprised if you have like spontaneous, like emotional release. It's because you're oxygenating the lungs and you're getting the stagnant energy to move out of the lungs. So you might have a little bit of that come up and out, but it's good, okay? It's good to clear the energy out. I know you're tired. I know it's been a long time coming, but you're almost on the other side of this, okay? It's about to come to an end. So give me some more details about what's up ahead for Virgo, all right? Look at this, all right? I'm telling you, all brand new for you. There is some kind of wish fulfillment coming through for you. And if you've been wanting to get away for a little bit, have a little fun, I see that happening. Some of you may feel like, you know, somebody's your genie in a bottle. Okay, this could be somebody that wants to take you out, show you a good time. This could be somebody who's a sharp dresser, you know, somebody who just, you know, sees that you need a little break, you need a little fun, right? So this may be somebody who's inviting you on some kind of getaway. I definitely see you going someplace. I see you doing a little traveling. I think you're also in a place where you're ready to take a leap. You don't feel like holding yourself back anymore. You know, ostriches, they move forward very rapidly. They're very fast. They're also very strong, very powerful. So where you may have felt hampered or held back, I feel like you're not going to feel like that anymore. You feel a reinvigoration. You're going to move forward very strongly, very powerfully. I also feel like you're seeing a situation plainly. You don't have your head stuck in the sand. Like, you know what's up ahead and you're ready to head straight towards it. Where you're going, it might seem a little strange as everything starts to line up and come together. You're going to be reminded of sort of like the magic of life and how we can go through something and not understand why we're going through it at the time. But then when we finally get the path lining up for our way forward, it's so synchronistic that you're like, it all makes sense now, okay? So I do feel like almost like the spirit of newness and adventure coming in. Compass of your heart, right on track. Wherever you're going, I do feel like it leads you to that place called home. And look, there's that new moon energy there hanging over that home. And this is the closing of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. So do look for April 8th to be significant in regard to some kind of important news coming in that lets you know that you're actually going places. You're not stuck anymore. And for some of you, you might actually be getting an opportunity to go to Australia or go on safari, like something like this is coming in. Very interesting, all right? But it looks good, all right? So hold tight, because I know you made a wish. Maybe you even made a wish on a dandelion seed head. You know, it takes time for those seeds to carry on the wind and land where they're meant to be and where they're meant to grow and prosper, okay? But I feel like you're just about to find your landing place, and it's a smooth landing, all right? So enjoy where you're heading to, because it's looking real good, Virgo.